Hey yo everybody! I don't know why I always do that one. For some reason I do. I guess I'm just attracted to it. Anyways, in this one I want to talk about 3 symbols that I think are very worthwhile getting to know in my videos, because I do base a lot of life in this. I'm going to be talking about other symbols later, as symbolism is a huge thing, but the 3 symbols that I think are what all of life is are definitely the yin and yang, the all-seeing eye, and the earth symbol, which I actually just came into recently. So I used to go see, because when I was, researching into all this stuff, you end up seeing similar things over and over again, which tells you even more how much of this stuff is in our face, though we don't know and they don't talk about. And that is the Babylonian symbol. And the Babylonian symbol is the cross. But there's so many different versions of it. I mean, there is the one on the hospital and clinics. There's the ones that they have, like the Babylonian Knights. They're actually everywhere. When you look at architecture, it's everywhere. When you look at, like the Pope and stuff, Babylonian symbols, there's Babylonian symbols everywhere. Just keep your eye out for it. But I actually just learned too, and there's some that, that are like this. And for me, when I saw what the earth symbol is in astrology, it's the cross and a circle. And it made sense then that, that is earth. And maybe those people with the Babylonian symbols knew that. So let's start with the yin and yang. So yin and yang, of course I grew up with, I'm Asian, but I didn't really know much about the symbol. And I actually don't know if life knows much about that symbol. The Chinese did come up with it a long time ago. And it's funny to me how it's not talked about more, because when you learn about how this symbol is about all of life and how everything exists, it's pretty crazy. And I guess maybe it shows 2 things. 1, we don't understand it enough. And 2, maybe they don't want us to understand it enough. So let's get into it. So yin and yang is the dark and the light, the yin, the yang, and then, together, and they have the dots of each other within it, because one cannot exist without the other. And that's what all life is about. It's about, the light, the dark, black and white, every single thing, the 2 opposites existing, and the whole, and the center being harmony. When you have the 2 together, locked in as the whole, that is actually what, the symbol is actually not called yin and yang. I think it's called, why can't I ever remember the name? I'm going to say it here, it's not going to be it, but it's like Titge or something like that. And sorry, I really apologize. I'll definitely write what the real one is under here. But it's, it means extreme energy. It means unity energy. It means, it basically just means when you have the whole, you are ultimate energy, and that is very, very true. And it also means that, if you look at it as the good and the bad, with those dots, it means, the good and the bad don't exist without each other. And they don't, is because in there is contrast. It shows you this is here, but you wouldn't know that was there unless that was there to show you the opposite. And that is what all of life is about too, is the contrast. There is the opposites in everything. There is the contrast in everything. Both opinions always exist. And when I say the both, there's the whole in between that also exists. There is, it's basically, this is why I love the yin and yang so much, because I believe in this one symbol. It explains all of life, all of creation, all of experience, all of choice, all of everything. And it really shows you that it cannot exist without the other. And so appreciate and see the both. And from there, you will be living as, an extreme energy, unity being with all that awesome energy, which we are. So okay, and then the all-seeing eye. The all-seeing eye, now that one's a tougher one, because I know what I believe it to be. Do I actually know that's what it is? But I guess that's the same with the yin and yang, though I think yin and yang is that. But with the all-seeing eye, I believe it to be. So it has these tiers, so the all-seeing eye, how it's like the flatter pyramid, and then a gap, and then the top eye. So I believe the bottom part to be what we are experiencing in life. We definitely experience the pyramid system. It makes sense. I'll get into that in another one as well, because it goes into, I don't know if you know about other species living among us, and it's part of their, what they were programmed in, and so is brought onto Earth, but we'll talk about that in another one. So basically the pyramid system, it's just from the tiers. So it's like the common people at the bottom, and then you have like the governments and all that kind of stuff, and then it's the elites who run them, and then it's like above that and above that. But for me, what is about the all-seeing eye is that gap in between, and from that gap to this eye. So this eye is all seeing, all knowing, all knowledge is what I call it, and it's that gap in between, because if you look at this, the whole pyramid from the bottom, to see this as truth, as what all knowledge is, it seems unfathomable. It doesn't seem real. Why would you believe it? And then from this level, it's a little bit more, and they could kind of see it more. From this level, they can see it more from this level. And then it's that leap of faith into trusting into that all-knowing of everything. And when you get to take that leap of faith into here, that is when you know all knowledge. And it seems far-fetched for the lower ones than the ones, you know, resting on this pyramid in a higher space. And that's what it is. But it doesn't mean you can't come from this lower all the way to this upper. You totally can. It's up to you though. And then what I believe the earth symbol to be is, I feel like that tells everything about Earth, how we experience it all. Because in this cross, there's, well, first of all, that's even north, south, east, west. That's also, I feel the 4 points of the horseman. I also feel there's so many, there was another one that's really obvious is what this is. Sorry, I can't think of it now. I'm sure someone else hasn't come up with it. But it's basically so many things come up with that symbol. But for me also is in these four quadrants, how we experience stuff. So I'm going to use an example of, let's say, good and bad. And here how you experience it would be, you know, good, 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 bad, bad, good, and bad, bad. And that's kind of how I feel you can experience. That's like basically telling you the choices and patterns that things normally happen in, what people normally experience, and things like that. It's just like when you view an opinion or something, you know, you have that opinion, that opinion, that opinion, that opinion. And then from there, it's like the core ones that keep breaking off into other ones. And maybe that's not a good explanation at the moment, but as we get in further, you'll start to see, and hopefully I can show you how these patterns come about and how they create life. And when you view life from these bases of these symbols, how it kind of simplifies it and breaks it down, and you can get through things way quicker. But yeah, so those three symbols I definitely think are bases of the life we experience now. Do your own research into it. There's so much awesome stuff about it. Definitely not enough. There can definitely be more in-depth, but know too, we are all led to different information. So if you believe in one thing and you read the different things, you might be drawn more to the one that you believe, right? And then that's when most people fight for this is right, even though the other article did do its own job too, and other people think this is right. And that's just how it is. That's how I see articles as well, is that there's articles for every which way argument, and the ones that people agree with will share that one because that's what they believe is right. Does it necessarily mean that's the only right? No, it doesn't, because there's so many rights. Sorry, in my head I was like, so many rights, it doesn't make you wrong. But anyways, yeah, so enjoy those symbols. Definitely research further, see what it does for you and means for you. It's really fun. And love you guys. Enjoy.